So the first thing we're going to do for our painting is create a value scale. This painting this week is an exercise, it's a study. So we're learning about starting. It's so important to focus on starting a painting. That's how you build your foundation for your technical skills. So if you don't have a strong foundation, getting to those details and the finishing of the painting is not going to be as successful or enjoyable. So we're going to learn about values by actually creating them. So this week we're just using white and black. It's easier to start with white and black with values because you're not confused by color. You know, color becomes more complicated. So the white and black is another foundational painting technique that we're working on, just learning values as they are with white and black. So my suggestion is to add a little bit of black into the white, and that goes when we start using colors to add the darker color into the lighter color, and you'll see why. This value scale is also about just practicing mixing paint. So you can use a palette knife, but for this I'm just going to use my brush to mix, and we're going to go from light to dark, and I'm just doing right on the canvas that we're working on. So some people start with a canvas that has color already on it. For this, we're just starting with the blank canvas, and we're gonna make 6 little swatches going from dark to light. So they're gonna be white, black, and then the grays in between. And you can do it at the top or anywhere on the edge of your canvas. We're gonna be using this as a reference. So I'm just taking the white right out of the tube and I'm making a little swatch like that. You probably can't see it because it's the white of the canvas. And then we're gonna add a little bit of black to that white to get a gray tone. So I just took a tiny tip of black into the white, and then I'm adding more white to get a light gray tone. So that's number 2. And then I'm gonna add a little more black in here, get it darker. And that's 3. See, we're getting darker. A little more black. I think I need to mix this in. It's getting kind of stripy, and I want a solid color here. So I'm gonna get a little darker and get a really solid value here. That looks pretty close when I put it on the canvas, so I'm gonna just keep adding more black here. You can always go on top of it. If you mess up, there is no really messing up. You can just let it dry and paint over it, which is why acrylic is so awesome. And now we're getting into the darker values. So a lot of black and barely any white. So I'm coming over here to my black and sort of mixing it all in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one is gonna be pure black. And you might want to, I don't have my jar of water right here, but you can use a different brush to just get the black out of the tube to get the darkest black. So that's your darkest dark. So this that you can barely see is your whitest highlight. So that's going to be the lightest part of your painting. And this black out of the tube is the darkest part of the painting. And these are all the other values in between. So we use this value scale. You'll see how we use it as a reference in our painting to find the darkest darks, the lightest lights, and then use the mid-tone values to create that depth, to create the shadows and highlights in our painting. All right, next step, we're gonna be adding the composition.